Why a Star Trek multiverse story is the perfect way to end its animated comedy. After multiple seasons of spacefaring chaos, meta humor, and heartfelt Trek love, Star Trek Lower Decks is nearing what could be its final frontier. While nothing is officially confirmed yet, signs point toward an eventual wrap-up for the beloved animated comedy. And if that's the case, there's one gloriously Trek-worthy way to bring it all to a close. A full-blown, over-the-top, emotionally satisfying multiverse story. Not just a gimmick. A Star Trek multiverse adventure could be the perfect finale, one that allows Lower Decks to celebrate everything that made it special while paying tribute to the broader Trek legacy. Here's why embracing the infinite realities of the Trek multiverse is the ideal way to say goodbye to Starfleet's funniest underdogs. The Trek multiverse is canon and comedy gold. From the mirror universe to alternate timelines, Star Trek has long been a multiverse playground. Whether it's the dark, go-to-wearing counterparts of the original series, the butterfly effect mayhem of yesterday's Enterprise, or the Kelvin timeline itself, alternate realities are as Star Trek as warp drive. But in Lower Decks, this concept has even more potential, not as serious moral allegory, but as absurd, heartfelt comedy. Imagine Ensign Boimler encountering a Kelvin-verse version of himself who's weirdly confident and has perfect hair. Or Mariner dealing with a mirror universe where she's the rule-following buzzkill. It practically writes itself. Multiverse stories let us laugh at the characters' contradictions, growth, and missed opportunities, while highlighting how much they've changed. Lower Decks has always worn its heart on its uniform sleeve, and this kind of tale could be the ultimate character study, masquerading as chaos. It honors every Trek era, including the weird ones. One of Lower Decks' most endearing qualities is how well it embraces the entirety of Star Trek canon, not just the highlights. It references obscure Voyager episodes, DS9 lore, and even Star Trek V, The Final Frontier. A multiverse finale could push that affection to the extreme. What if the Cerritos crew gets scattered across realities, and we follow each one into a completely different animation style and era? Rutherford could land in a TOS-style animated universe, complete with jerky animation and cheesy sound effects. Tendi might find herself on a sleek, deadly Picard timeline science vessel. Boimler could pop into Prodigy's world, or even a universe where Star Trek is just a TV show, a callback to Voyager's The Killing Game, or Enterprise's North Star with a meta twist. Mariner might end up as a 90s-style gritty action hero version of herself, a callback to how Trek has evolved with the times. This multiverse madness would not only be visually inventive, but also a love letter to Star Trek's shifting tones, styles, and experiments. It's fan service with a mission. The character growth needs a cosmic stage. Lower Decks started as a show about screw-ups. Over the years, though, these ensigns have grown into genuine Starfleet officers, or at least better versions of their chaotic selves. Boimler has gone from anxious rule follower to reluctant leader. Mariner, once proudly anti-authority, is learning to care about structure and others. Tendi is growing into a scientist and a moral center. Rutherford has overcome a manipulative backstory to embrace his identity. A multiverse plot can frame this development in a way that gives each character a literal mirror to confront and overcome. Meeting alternate versions of themselves can offer closure. I could have been this, but I'm proud of who I am. A character arc played out across infinite realities? That's classic Trek, but also deeply personal. The finale will leave fans laughing, and maybe even tearing up, all while seeing who these lovable disasters have become. The stakes can be huge, without breaking canon. Here's the challenge with Trek finales. How do you make the ending big enough to matter, but without undoing canon or killing characters off? A multiverse story solves this beautifully. The stakes can be universe-threatening, like a tear in space-time, pulling all Star Trek realities into a singularity, but the outcome doesn't need to rewrite any major lore. The multiverse lets Lower Decks play in the big leagues without trampling other series. Plus, it would give the Cerritos crew one last chance to be the unexpected heroes. Not because they were the strongest or most important officers, but because they cared the most. That's Lower Decks' whole philosophy. You don't need to be on the bridge to make a difference. It could give Lower Decks a wildly original goodbye. Trek series finales can be emotional, all good things. Intense what you leave,